Hey, hey, Fearless. Okay, we thought that it would be fun to start today's Tactical Tuesday by doing the whole experiment of the boiling water. And does it turn to snow when it's this freaking cold out, or does it not? So here we go, guys. All right.
Hey, Nin, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, Nin, like poor Nin, she's not feeling great right now, but she always wanted to experience snow. She got to do it one time when we came up to a Keyspire Summit. We brought her up here as part of our team. What do you think, Nin? Is it going to freeze?
All right,
Let's see.
It's only minus 30.
I'm gonna
it's
do
pretty
this.
warm out right now, but let's try. Okay.
All right.
Where are you pointing at?
Well, where am I?
Oh, you're here. All right. You got to point it this way, like that.
Okay.
Ready?
Woo! It turned to snow. Okay, you got to do it again. Yep.
Boiling water, minus 30. You throw it in the sky, it turns to snow.
And it's only minus 30. I thought this had to happen at like minus 20.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Are you ready? Yeah. Woo! That is so pretty. So pretty. All right, you got any more? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, guys, we are just gonna jump back into our stream. We got an awesome topic tonight. We have got so many people have reached out to us over the last 2-3 weeks saying, you know what, 2021 was a bit of a disappointment. I didn't do what I wanted to have done. And so you know what? We're going to break down as an investor, what do you need to do to make the most out of 2022? Because as we all know, it's insane to be talking about, excuse my hair. It's insane to be expecting a different result if we don't change our action. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Here we go. We are back in the house, and that has been removed. Okay, we are good to go. Yeah. Right. Okay. Welcome, guys. Crazy start. We thought we'd try something a little different. And here we are. New year. Woo! New year ahead. Who's excited? Yeah. Who's scared? Throw it in the comments. Let us know where you're from. There we go. That is awesome. Whitby, Calgary, Cape Breton, Edmonton. Yes, it's ice cold here right now.
Could you guys see the freezing, the boiling water?
I'll have to watch that video later.
That turned to snow. Could you actually see that? Hey, Lisa, Michael, Samir, Sean, great to have everybody on. Karina, we've missed everyone. This has been
we missed a week, and it seems like forever.
It felt like forever. Yeah, it was weird. Last Tuesday night, normally if we miss a Tuesday training, it's only, I think we've only missed 3 in 3 years. But when we do, it's because we have something else that we have to do. Last week, we were like, we had nothing else going on. I got like tons of stuff organized. It was totally chill. Pretty sweet. So, hey.
Leanne says, right. I'm both excited and scared newbie here in Ontario.
Leanne, that you're our favorite. I'll just tell you that right now because we know exactly how you feel. We were sitting exactly there, overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, not even knowing if we could do it.
And fear is what this is all about, right? Mm-hmm. Like we all have our own fears.
And tonight, that's exactly what we're talking about, Leanne. So it's perfect timing for you. Stick with us. So, hey, Cindy, you're not with Karina tonight. Interesting. Sarah, my dear Sarah. Okay. Hey, guys, our Nin, if you guys are new to Fearless, you don't know Nin yet, but any of our Igniteds who are in our mentoring program know and love Nin. She is our work mom. She is our right-hand man. And she is a little down today physically. She's not feeling great and hasn't been for the last few days. So I am wearing lipstick in her honor. She wears bright, everything blue lipstick even. So Nin, we love you. We're all here cheering for you. We miss you, and get well really, really soon. So guys, tonight is about how, we all have like goals, and we thought about doing goal setting, but it's so cliche, right? Everyone does goal setting. We talk about goal setting every New Year's, but what's really interesting is that less than 8% of people even remember what their goals were come February, the end of February. So 2 months into the new year, what was your New Year resolution? less than 8% even remember what it was, never mind having achieved it. And so it gets me thinking, and I love reading and researching. And so I've kind of been delving into this last few days, and I don't know, I just can't stop.
Statistics. You've always been a statistics.
I love stats, yeah. And happened to work in stats for the first 4 years of my like grown up life, which was awesome. But why? What's the difference, right? So as investors, I love being able to pull data, look at data, and then apply it in the real world. Okay, 18 years later, we've been investing for 18 years. How could this information have helped us? What should we have done different or better? And then, how can we relay that to you guys and pass that on to you? So
today is
James.
mediocrity.
It's all by hand.
Mediocrity.
I'll tell you that, James.
We don't want to continue that. If our 2021, we look back at the last year and we say, I could have done better.
So guys, how was 2021? First of all, let's be nice to ourselves, okay? Let's remember that we were in a worldwide pandemic. We were in what we'll look back on as one of the most difficult times of our whole entire generation, and most transitional times. So how was it? Some of us soared, yes. And some of us did okay, and some of us struggled. So how was your 2021? What we want to talk about tonight, hey, Nicolette, nice to see you. What we want to talk about tonight is how can we make a difference in 2022? So it's not goal setting, okay? Let me be really clear. This is not goal setting. This is completely different. This is science-based. What does it take to make a difference between last year and this year? So crazy busy. Yeah, Jenilyn, I actually have been hearing a lot about you, girl, which is awesome. Been nice and busy. Buying properties, that's good. Partnering with people, that's great. All right, Cindy, you did get started. You bought your first place. You moved into your second property, I believe, not moved into, but you got to update me actually as to where you're at. But 2021 was a stall in real estate, but lots of learning and growth. Good. So all of that foundational knowledge that you have, you're going to be able to take that and apply it in 2022, right? But there's some pretty interesting stats out there about what makes the difference between those that succeed. Let's say succeed is a financial measure. Now, we have a different opinion on that, and finances certainly are great, but that doesn't define success in our opinion. However, let's say that we're talking about financial success for the sake of tonight. So you need your equity. Yes, you do, Danielle. It's coming. That refi is coming. Huge growth. Awesome, Heather. Okay, so this is good stuff. This is exciting stuff. But what if 2021 wasn't your year? Let's say that it was okay. Let's say it was mediocre. That's what we're talking about tonight, is mediocrity. Now, I'll tell you, I definitely am one who gets stuck in mediocrity. I am kind of content with mediocrity. I don't mind it. I kind of like being content with being okay. But here's the problem with mediocrity. And here's some of the stats. So, Maclean's Magazine, this is Canadian stat, okay? It's different for the US. We're going to talk about the US. Maclean's Magazine, 69% of Canadians are going to be dependent on either family, a part-time job, or the government in their retirement years. In other words, they won't be financially stable in their retirement years. They're going to have to depend on someone or go out and work in the years when they're supposed to be having the best time of their lives. This one's really interesting, actually. This is the Social Security's admin in the US. So they did a study and they basically broke it down for us to really simple terms. So they did thousands and thousands of people in this study, but this is the way the numbers broke out. We're going to say it in people rather than percentages. If you take any 100 people at the start of their career and you follow them until retirement, okay? So let's say after college until retirement. So about 40 years is how long this study goes. How many people do you think would be healthy? Wealthy. How many people do you think would be wealthy? Hey, Andrea and Sean. Okay. Adrienne, it's too long. I can't see it. Leanne, it's too long, but I will look after, okay? And I will see the comments. Keep on participating, guys. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay.
So remember, 100 people.
100 people.
Any 100 people.
Heather.
This was a study that they followed for 40 years.
Hey, Sarah.
These people. How many out of those 100 do you think would be considered wealthy?
Less than 5%. Only 4. These are the best times of our lives, right, Dwight? Of yours, certainly. You're rocking and rolling in
Good
Brandon.
guesses, guys.
4, 1.
Throw some numbers in the chat.
So here's how the numbers actually work out. And it's super interesting because, guys, we're all affected by this. Whether we think so or not, these numbers affect us too. And we want to decide tonight and then take actionable steps to see which way we're going to be in 2022. Okay, so it's not about goal setting. It's just about those actionable steps that we can take to make sure that our year is the best that it can be. 5, 7%, 2%, 1, 6 out of 100, 3 to 5%, 1 or 7. Hey, 7's my favorite number, so I'm with you there. All right, this is how the numbers break down. You want to read it?
Sure. So out of those 100 people, 1, and a lot of you guessed that, 1 will be wealthy.
Okay, wealthy.
So 1 will be wealthy. Now, how many out of those 100 do you think will be financially secure? Okay, so we go from wealthy to financially secure, then we go to will continue working, and then we go to will be dependent on on their family or government.
So in other words,
for their daily needs.
Their health may not allow them to continue working. Some people will have the health to be able to, but some won't, and they won't be able to continue working.
So you guys got, a lot of you guessed it, 1. Financially secure, 4.
What defines wealthy, right, Brian? Okay, financially secure,
4.
So if we add our 1 wealthy person to our 4 financially secure people, we have 5 people, or 5%, which a lot of you guys guessed, 5% of people that will be financially stable in their retirement. That's of any 100 people that you choose. That's a pretty scary stat. Now, for all of us as investors.
So let's just stop there for a second. We take the 52 that are on with us live at this moment, or the 52 that are there right now. That means 2.5 of you, roughly, 3 of us that are on live right now are going to be okay financially in retirement. If all of us follow the average stats and just do the average things that average people do. But
now what
we're here today doing, guys, is we're not going to be average. That's the point. We don't want to be mediocre. And that's our topic tonight. We want to rise above that. And there's so many things we can do to make sure that we are not a part of the 95 other people that aren't secure. Okay. So that's really what this is about.
Okay. So first off, let's talk about that. What is success? So many people have said that. Absolutely. Dwight, Brian, Danielle agreed. What is success? So we all have a different definition. Certainly ours has never included being financially, being super wealthy, because it really doesn't buy you happiness. However, it can buy you some freedom, and that might buy you happiness. However, for tonight's purposes, in case you jumped on past the very first couple minutes of tonight, for tonight's purposes, we are going to define success tonight as financially successful. Okay, so let's start using that in our mind. Financially successful, being financially stable. We don't have to be wealthy, but we do have to be able to not worry about bills. We do have to be able to work because we want to, not have to. Okay, so that's what we're going to define success as tonight. Okay.
So just to wrap up that stat, guys, because I know that if it was me watching right now, I'd want to know, where do the other 95 people fit? Okay, so 5 will continue working. 54 will be dependent on family or their government for their daily needs.
Daily needs.
Not for extras.
No. For
their daily needs. 54 of that 100. There's 36 left. What happens to those?
You were supposed to bring that up. Okay, guys. That's a morbid stat. So 36 won't be with us anymore. But basically the stats come down to the fact that 95% of people will not achieve what they thought they would in life.
That's right,
Let's be in the 5%, right? Robin,
Yeah.
you are in the 5%. You're taking action. We also know in this group, people are taking action in Ignited. We look at that, and that's the top 1% of the top 5%. Like we don't have all of those things, but what we do have is the same mental obstacles that most people do. We have the same fears. We have the same mind blocks. We have the same, knowledge obstacles, step-by-step systems we have all of the same trials, but we also push past them. And why? That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes, because
why and how.
There are specific tangible things that you can do to make sure that you're not part of the 95% that has to be taken care of, that you are part of that 5% that is taken care of financially. There's actual tangible things that we're going to talk about that you can put into place in 2022.
And in fact, starting today. So that's the beauty of it, is I'm not a planner. And we've actually had this discussion in Ignited recently, in that I'm not a planner and I don't have that goal setting. I can't think past this week, never mind this month. But what actionable steps can we take on a regular basis? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So here's the thing. The number one thing, according to every, study and survey and everything else that you can ever think about, that we can be that small percentage. Alejandro, you are going to be. This year's your year. Totally know that. But anyways, what we can do is we can take a look at, first off, the number one, and we've heard this a million times, so we're not going to talk about it tonight. The number one is your why. Okay, your purpose, your life's purpose, your investing purpose being bigger than you are. Okay, so we're going to mention that, but we're not going to dwell on it because we've talked about this a million times. If you need to see more, or if you need to join our boot camp and we walk you through some exercises, great. But at the end of the day, your purpose has to be bigger than you. It has to enable your family, your friends, perhaps the freedom for you to take your parents to their doctor's appointments, or your kids to their field trips, or be there when they get home after school. It has to be bigger than you are. Maybe a cause, earth-friendly cause, or whatever it might be. So that is the number one thing that will help you. Now, we learned that firsthand by accident. We didn't know the stats back when, but that certainly did help us in our journey. But we are going to go through our top 3. Okay. What we feel.
Top 3 steps for 2022 to be different than 2021.
So if you're 2021, and I know that we have lots in Ignited that have killed it in 2021. And I was thinking about you guys, and I'm like, oh man, you guys are all going to be like, man, 2021, I don't want to change it. Let's leave it just as was and let's repeat it, right? So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
And that's, congratulations, and that's great, and let's celebrate it. However, there are some out there that didn't hit those things, didn't hit what they wanted to in 2021, and want 2022 to be a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit, not tons, guys. We're not talking about leaps and bounds. But, oh, yes, I love this. I want to bring my friends and family into this top 5%, right, Marie? Talk about a drive. Like, picture that person. Picture who that is. You're gonna hit those things. Start with your mindset. Yes. Yes, see, all stepping out of our comfort zone. Yes, all you Igniteds, you all know it, right? Like, because we've lived it and we've forced ourselves into these things. So, interestingly, one of the very top scientific, and this is the thing, guys, with stats and surveys, there's so many of them, and I read so many books, and I'm always spewing stats to Corey, and he's just like, yeah, but that kind of contradicts what you said last week, because, that stat said this or that or whatever. But at the end of the day, they all kind of come down to a few simple principles. And whether the stats are, 98% or whatever, 75%, the majority of things come down to the same thing. And this is what we found to be the strongest things and what helped our investing and helped make a difference for us. So that's
number
what we're
1.
sharing. Number 1, get to it. Is that what you're saying? All right. So number 1 is the fact that you need positive peer pressure, and or you could call it accountability. So that's the number 1 thing, is you need to surround yourself with people that are doing the same things you want to be doing. They most favorably would be ahead of you in that game already.
So for a second, before Tiff goes on here, stop and think, who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with in your life? Now, Tiff will get into this, and it's something that we both agree on is, a lot of times we hear out there, okay, well, you might have to leave some of your friends and go find new friends. That's not what we're talking about here. And we don't believe that you should have to do that. However,
because your friends and your family serve a different purpose than your financial goals. And for them, they are your heart and they keep you there, and that's okay. Keep them. Don't dump them, like some people will say. However,
the reason we say this is because you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so is there anybody in there? Is there anyone that you're spending time with that you can learn financial lessons from? Is there anybody in there that you can learn real estate investment from? Is there anyone in there that's going to keep you motivated to reach those goals you might set or the commitments you make? That's where the accountability also comes in. Is there anybody that will hold you accountable if you're slacking off, if you're not reaching out of your comfort zone like you said you were going to? And so that's what we want you to do, is just do an inner search, and you don't have to put it in the chat here. But who is it around you that is upping your game, so to speak?
Yeah. Okay. So Adrian, what if those people are fun? Yeah. Good point. Don't give them up. We need fun. We need laughter. We need good times in our lives. And that's what those friends are for. And keep them there. And don't try to force them into a box of, financial accountability and reaching the same goals that you are and whatever. If that's not who they are, that's not who they are. That's okay. But you do need, and Adrian, you have now, and I'm sure you felt it, the difference that it can make when you have a group of people that are reaching toward the same kinds of goals that you are, encountering the same obstacles that you are, and the same heartbreak and the same happiness and the same joyous times and all of those things, where you're saying, I want something just a little bit better. And I'm going to still have fun with my friends, but I want something a little bit better. James, no, you can't fire everyone around you. You have your ignited family. That's all you need. Keep your friends. Keep them how they are.
So true, Simon. Simon's saying here, I was just speaking about this yesterday, you need to get rid of negative energy in your life that drains your time and energy. Absolutely.
So this is the thing, is that the action and the beliefs of others around us are going to drive us. So and this is just a simple thing, but have you ever gone traveling with people or spent a couple of days with people that, like, let's say they love ice cream. You end up out and around, you end up at home, you end up wherever, you end up eating ice cream, right? Have you ever had friends that are like movie buffs or family, and they love, like, their chips and their popcorn and their licorice and their M&Ms and whatever else with their movie? Yeah, that's me. I'm not a movie buff, but when I do, I like popcorn with it. But you end up eating popcorn, M&Ms, and licorice, right? Because the people that you're around start influencing now their habits. Now, you ever been we have friends that are like crazy avid hikers, like ridiculously avid hikers. And any and everywhere we go with them through the world, they're finding hikes. I'm like, how do you find these things all the time? And we can hike in the prairies, really, like, it's crazy. But we end up doing more hiking with them because their habits, their routines, their thought processes come into our lives. And it's great for us. So popcorn, right? So no pausing to get snacks, Adrian. You're so funny. Okay, so think about, and you know what, this really came into my mind. It changed my mindset when we went to Paris with friends, and they wanted to go to the opera house. And I was like, meh, like I could go or I could not go. Another friend wanted to go to soccer games, right? They're really into soccer. I love soccer too, but meh, sure, we'll go just for the experience, But man, I tell you, the opera was amazing, and now I like opera. The soccer, the environment, and all of those things. So let's take that just everyday real life example, and let's put it into our investor world. When people are moving forward in their investing and you see them doing that, not only does it inspire you, but it actually makes you believe it can happen.
And then you start getting ideas, and then they start giving you ideas, and then you start thinking, hey, I can do this. And then you start having people that want to do it with you. And the whole cycle just continues and continues and continues. So, you know, the whole point of this, point number one, is surrounding yourself with people that are going to up your game financially, are going to up your game as far as real estate investment goes. They're going to up your game as far as attracting capital or raising capital. Who do you have in your life? Who are you surrounding yourself with that is going to up your game? Being a part of this group, guys, being here and listening to these trainings, being a part of all the awesome people that are commenting here, this is being a part of a group that is going to up your game. Those that have joined our Ignited program are part of another group that is going to up the game even more from what we do here in Fearless. And so who are you surrounding yourself with? And I want every one of you to ask that question to yourself, because this, according to the studies, is one of the number one things that is going to up your game, is who you surround yourself with.
Okay, I just have to say this, Marie. You said go to the ballet. Okay, I did do that. I went with my sister who loves the ballet, and I sat there through this like long night. It was like 4 hours or something. And at like after the third intermission or something, she was like, so like, are you liking it? I'm like, yeah, like I'm open to anything, right? So I'm like, yeah, I like it. I said, I just don't get the like weird naked guy that follows the other guy around all day. Like, I don't understand that. And she's like, that's his shadow. That's the whole point of this whole entire opera. That's his shadow, or the ballet. She's like, that's his shadow. How could you not get that? So anyways, I could definitely, you know, learn a little and be more cultured for sure. I want to read, before we move on to number 2, guys, I want to read us a quick stat. It's from the National Science Foundation. And the average person has 12 to 60,000 thoughts in a day.
I'd probably closer to 12, and Tiff would be around 60,000.
I'm sure. So that's the number, is 12 to 60,000 thoughts in the day. However, 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts that we had the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before. So let's pause for a second, and let's just think about that, and think about how we are stuck in our own thoughts, in our own brains, and in the brains and thoughts of the people we surround ourselves with. So who are we surrounding ourselves with? Number 1. Number 2, what are we thinking about every day? And do we need someone, and someone new, a new group, a new friendship, a new accountability partner, a new community, to stretch those thoughts a little bit, so that 95% of those thoughts are the same ones that we've been thinking for the last 20 years? Well, no kidding, we're having the same results that we've been having for the last 20 years. So here's my question for you on number 1. We have a question for you to think about. Write this down if you can. If you're driving, please don't. But write this down if you can. And here's our question for you for number 1, okay, that we want you to think about and implement, okay? Implement, and we're going to talk about that next. But who influences you and doesn't need tweaking? Now, we'll repeat, we don't agree with the advice of you might have to give up some of your friends. We say keep your friends for what they are. If they're fun and they're fishing or they're hiking or whatever they are, keep them for that. But for tonight's topic, we're talking about investing. Who are your friends and who is influencing you? And does that need tweaking? Do you need to grab a community and surround yourself with it? Okay? That's question number 1. John Wick stuff. I got to read all these comments back because they're pretty funny, I'm sure of it. Okay, number 2.
Number 2. Go for it.
It's so funny. Okay, so big topic, of course. Anyone who knows us and has been listening to us knows that this was a huge obstacle for me.
Actually, one of the first comments we had tonight was, I'm a little afraid of what's coming up in 2022. Mm-hmm. Fear and stuff that holds us back, our own mind, our own way of thinking. And for those of you that have taken boot camp in the past, you've saw through the process of going through boot camp how if we just tweak the way we think and look at things a little bit differently, put a few little things into practice,
just tweaks, okay?
Just little tweaks, our whole outlook can change. And that's really what holds us back most of the time, is what our own mind blocks are. and our own fears are.
So of you guys that are igniteds, and we know we have tons of igniteds on all the time. So let's say of you guys who were fearful at first, I know you've pushed that through that fear and you're not there anymore and you're at the action stage. But can you go back? Can you throw in there a thumbs up or a smiley face or whatever if you were fearful? And for you newbies out there, Lisa, one of our newbies that just said, like, I'm so afraid. Throw in there, is there fear? It's a thumbs up. It's a happy face. It's something, because guys, we all have fear. Terrified, right, Adrienne? I still experience it sometimes. Melanie, yes. Yes, Andrea. So at the end of the day, you guys, all of this fear, Brian, who's got like an 8-plex new build going on, 8-plex or 6-plex. But, you think, oh, the guy like that has just got everything under control. Yeah. No, we don't. We still have fear, but fearless now, right, Simon? Killing it, Simon.
Okay, I want to share this stat. Is that all right?
No.
Cornell University, guys. Cornell University. They did this stat, and it's actually pretty cool. And, let's pay attention to the numbers here. 85% of what we worry about, okay, think of all the things you worry about, all the fears you have. 85% of what we worry about never happens.
85%.
Now just stop and think about that. That means of all the things we worry about, only 15% of it actually is going to happen. So 85% of our worry is for nothing.
So who's worrying about investing in real estate? Who's worrying about the markets changing? Who's worrying about us not doing a good job and losing money? Who's worrying about not finding a good property manager? Who's worrying about buying the wrong property? Who's worrying about getting the wrong tenants? Who's worrying about tenant damages and how to evict them? Who's worrying about all of those things? The workup is always worse. For sure, Melissa. And okay, so the thing is, the beauty of knowing this kind of thing and the stats and the science behind it, guys, is that as investors, we're logical creatures. We're supposed to be. But when money comes into play, our nest egg, our everything, our time away from our families, when those things come into play, guess what? Our emotions take over. And as much as we're supposed to be logical, fear takes over. All right. Yeah, right? Simon, you're still afraid. And Melanie, when you worry about it not going well, I thought of you so many times for this Tuesday training. Oh my goodness. But yeah, when we're still afraid of things that will hold us back, and yet the stats say they're not going to happen, then guess what? We're being illogical, guys. I was being illogical. It's probably not going to happen. But here's the coolest part about that. More things to worry about now.
Okay, let me finish with that, okay? Because it's not done yet, guys.
No.
So 85% doesn't happen, okay? We're wasting our time worrying about it.
Yeah.
Of the 15% that actually does come true, get this. 79% of that 15%, you end up handling it better than you thought you would.
79% of the crappy times.
You end up handling it. It goes better than you had expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
that's 79% of the 15. And where's my other stat? Or is a lesson worth learning? You learn something from it.
So at the end of the day, you would have chose to go through that again just for the lesson that you learned. So either you handle it better than you thought you were going to, or you're glad that you went through it for the learning. So either way, of the 15% that does go wrong, 79% of that is something you would choose to do again.
So
how crazy?
Did you do the math?
No.
Of the 15%, if 79% goes better or it was a lesson, how much of it do you actually have to worry about?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Did you?
So I'm just doing it right now. And so anybody that's watching, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But if 85% never happens, we're left with 15. And 80% of that roughly ends up going okay. Then we're really worrying at the end of the day, 80% of 15 is 12. We're worrying about 3%.
Of course Marie would have that number. Yes. Of course she would.
That's ridiculous. So out of the 100% of things that we worry about on a daily basis, all our fears, all our mind blocks, all the things that hold us back, really
97%.
97% of that we don't have to worry about. Think
Okay.
about that. That's crazy.
So guys, if you're afraid of investing in real estate, Leanne, okay, our newbie, and I'm sure there's more that are just too shy to speak up. If you're afraid of investing in real estate in 2022, know that 97% of your fears statistically are irrelevant. And 3% may be there. But can we leap into 3% out of 100? I'm going to say yes.
So if you have if any of us had a huge opportunity in front of us,
Good,
and
Leanne.
anyone said to us, you have a 97% chance of succeeding, would you turn away?
Right?
No, you'd go for it.
You'd be like, that's a win. That's a new win.
Yes.
Someone said you're going to buy a lottery ticket. You have a 97% chance of winning. You'd probably buy that ticket.
Yeah. But you know what happens is, this goes back to point number one. A lot of times we tell people what we're planning to do, especially when it comes to real estate investment. And because they're in that top 5 circle we were talking about, we're not getting the encouragement to do it. We end up shutting down because of that as well. So these things all tie in together, guys. If we have people in our corner that are backing us up, that are going to up our game, and we stop worrying about all these fears that we think might happen, that aren't going to happen. These are small tweaks that we can make to completely change the trajectory of our financial future.
So, and there's things that we can do, right? We can, again, surround ourselves with the right communities. We can surround ourselves with the right support, or the steps that we need and the systems that we need. We can do all of those things to kind of mitigate that 3%. But when we're only mitigating 3%, that's a lot happier than mitigating 100%. I have to put my, no, see these? I only got these a year ago and I can't see with them. Okay, I wanted to read this quoted.
Okay, you want me to? I can read it.
Okay, yeah, you can. I can't see anymore.
Okay.
Our first boot camp ever, back in August 2019, ruined my eyes. I've never been the same since, because I was on screen so much. Anyways, I know. Okay, read it. That
Theo Sasides?
Sasides, I think.
Sasides, okay.
I don't know.
He's a neuropsychologist, a clinical researcher. So he says, pursuing a goal refers to taking all the steps. Pursuing is taking action. And that's the part that the 90% of non-achievers flunk.
Okay, listen. Taking action, pursuing it's not the goal setting, guys. It's not the planning. It's not all, but he says, and this guy's like one of the world's most brilliant brains on this, that it's 90%, it's the taking of action, the 90% flunk. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. He said, I realized what is different about the 10% of achievers. This is where we want to be, guys. It isn't the methods. It isn't their genes. It isn't their personalities, education, gender, or upbringing. It is a simple and observable characteristic. 2 words. They pursue. They work toward what they want. Achievers take action. Action is the essential ingredient of success. Can't say it much better than that.
So I'm going to throw this quote in Fearless. I'll do that tomorrow because we have a busy night coming up. But guys, just take the step. Yes. And this is a neuropsychologist who studies action and goal setting. And he says it's not in the goal setting. It's in the pursuing. It's an easy formula. Yes, Carissa, it's an easy formula. So here's the thing. If above all else we do in 2022, guys, is take action.
Mm-hmm. Pursue.
Think about a pursuit. Think about a police car chase. I was thinking about that earlier today. And I was thinking, what do? We find the best ways to get around all the obstacles that are coming because we have something in mind that we want to achieve. So there's going to be obstacles. It's not like it's not going to happen. They're going to be there. But what can we do to set ourselves up for the best outcome out of all of it? And we had this discussion again in Ignited this last week where Chris Powell of Companion Investments, Jen and Chris, they're doing amazing things out of Calgary. Great market to be in. Very, very defined investors to be working with, and Chris is very strategic in all of his thinking and planning. And he said, like, how do, what's everyone doing for their planning? And at the end of the day, a lot of us kind of said, you know what, we're planning, but it's taking action. It's about that daily, incremental, consistent action that kind of makes the difference at the end. So guys, so here's my question for number 2. So number 2 is the fear and the mind blocks. Okay, this is what you can do to kind of mitigate 2022 not being the same as 2021 if you want that difference. It's that fear and those mind blocks. So the question for that is, what are you going to put in place to help you get through those fears? Do you have a net? Do you have that community of support? Do you have an accountability partner? Do you have the knowledge, the resources, a system, a course? What do you have that you need to put in place in order for you to get rid of that fear and that mind block, which we now know is totally unsubstantiated and 97% just gibberish? What are you putting in place so that you can get through those things so that you can actually move forward and take action? Okay, guys? So that's what I want you to think about for number 2. What are you putting in place? Momentum, consistent forward momentum toward your goals. Yes, Melanie, coming from someone who, same thing with all of us. We struggled, and then that consistent forward action came into place and created the results and the action that we wanted, right? We don't need to wait to be perfect. We just need to get started, right, Dwight? None of us are perfect. You're not perfect, but you're sure creating some awesome stuff.
So start thinking now, guys, what you are pursuing. Are you in the pursuit of maybe increasing the amount of passive cash flow you have? Are you in the pursuit of maybe buying one more property this year? Are you in the pursuit of maybe finding someone to partner with? Are you in the pursuit of educating yourself more and surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals? What is your pursuit? What is the thing that you are going to take action on in the upcoming year? And we're not just saying 2022, guys. This is something that carries on for the rest of your life. But what are you trying to pursue? And I want you guys to just kind of write that down or define it, what you're pursuing, so that you have something tangible to actually start taking action on. And if you don't know that yet, then just make your pursuit being at every single one of our Tuesday trainings, and you're going to get ideas.
Just for osmosis.
Being a part of the group and asking questions or answering other people's questions. Guys, there's so much you can do to start finding or defining what that pursuit for you might be.
You guys are awesome. I love it. All of these comments. I'm totally going to go back to read all of these because it's true. All of them. I believe you do, Mulaney.
Okay, so we've gone through point number 1, which was
number 2.
People that have a lack of an accountability and also don't have positive peer pressure. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Point number 2,
number 3,
was the fears and the mind blocks that we hold ourselves back with, and really only 3% of them come true. Point number 3 is, what is the definition of insanity?
All right, guys.
Okay, you guys know this. You've heard it a million times. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
So I have a question for you guys. How did 2021 go for you? Scale of 1 to 10. So some of us, and don't be shy, okay? If it was a 1, whatever, we've all had those years.
It's in the
past.
past.
If it was a 10, don't worry about it. You're not being presumptuous. It's okay. Is it Melanie, a 15?
Awesome.
Yes, I love it. And I love that you're owning it and you're okay saying it. That's progress right there. A 10, a 12 out of 10. Awesome. So I'm insane. I love it, Julia. We're all insane together. You know that. A 5, a 10, and 11. Okay, these are all igniteds that are saying this. Yes, I see that. 7.5. Okay, good. So there's room for improvement. An 8, good. I guess it wasn't memorable, Adrian. So, okay, not a 10, a crazy 10 plus. Awesome. An 11, awesome. Who here had a year that okay, there we go. I don't see your name, but there we go. There's a 4, I saw a 5, I saw a 6. These are good numbers, guys, because that means that we did something but we also didn't do quite as much as we wanted. And we do have more room to grow and learn and move further. Danielle, 5. Awesome. And Danielle, you've done great things in 2021. So if that's a 5, girl, well, I can't wait to see what's coming. Cindy, yeah, I'd say an 8, right? You did awesome stuff, but there's a little more room. A 4, a 2, Jet. Okay, a 2, a 5. Sean and Andrea, again, you did lots, crazy more stuff to be done, though, for sure. So if you want it to be different, I want to read you a stat, okay? This was so much fun putting tonight's Tuesday training together. This is so up my alley. So 50% of us feel, let's say, like this is in our young adulthood. So this is around college age when we're starting our careers again, okay? So we've kind of gone through the tough times of teen years and all that stuff. We're in our early adulthood where life seems so possible for us. Let's see. 50% of us feel that we will be financially stable. Okay, 50%, that's pretty good, but it doesn't mean 50% of people don't even have any hope at that point, which kind of sucks. But 50% of us feel we'll be financially stable. 25% of us are 100% confident they will be financially stable. Okay, so that's 75% of people that feel that there's no question they're going to be financially stable. They're getting out of, they're in their early 20s and they're going to have a fantastic life moving forward. And they're going to be better off in 20 years than they are sitting at where they are today.
So we all have high hopes.
We all have high hopes.
75% of us do.
Now, what is the real number, guys? How many of us, and it's subjective depending on what you consider success and all this kind of stuff, but the number that I felt was a reasonable kind of pull through all of them, 9% of us are financially stable, okay? I'm not talking about wealthy. I'm just talking about where we don't have to worry about our daily needs. We don't have to necessarily work. We can choose to if we need to. We could be smart about our money and not work if we had to. Like, we've got some financial security that's not tied to someone else controlling it, okay? 9% of us. Yet 75% of us plan or think as if we're going to be. So at the end of the day, when we look at what our 2022 was, or 2021 was, if we feel confident that we could be or should be, but yet we weren't, the only difference, and this is scientifically proven, the only difference is action. So what action do you need to take? Do you need to get more knowledge? Do you need to surround yourself with different people? Do you need to understand the foundations and the basics better? Do you just need to make a leap and know that there's a net there for you? Do you need to get a coach? Do you need to join a mentorship program? We have Ignited. Guys, it's amazing. It's awesome. And I'm telling you, all those people that were putting their 10 and 15 and 12 and whatever out of 10, it's not because of us, but it's because of the community of support that they have that makes them succeed. So I always have this mantra in my head, and there's a few different versions of it, but one of them is just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So
what? I've never heard that before.
What?
Never heard that before.
So I always say to you, I just keep moving, okay. Right? Don't I, like if we're cleaning the garage or something, I'm like, just keep moving, just keep moving. Okay. Because, like when you don't know what to do and you're overwhelmed and you don't know, the next steps, but you just take one step, that step turns into the next step and that one turns, and you end up having, some momentum for a while. So you just keep on moving. Okay. But in my head, I'm Ellen DeGeneres.
You're swimming.
I'm just keep swimming. You don't know what that's from?
No, I have no idea.
You don't know Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah, I know who Ellen is.
Just keep swimming.
No.
Okay, guys.
Nemo. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, now I get it.
Okay. Nemo. Finding Nemo.
Okay, Dory.
That's in her head, Corey.
Okay, thank
it's from Finding Nemo.
Okay, now I get it. All right.
Okay, there we go.
I saw in the notes here, just keep swimming, and I had no idea where she was going to go with that. So.
Okay. So guys, what is your just keep swimming? That's my question for you. Just keep going and you'll figure it out. Yes, Heather. Okay, that's the point, is just keep swimming. You have to just keep going. You have to keep moving. So if 2021 wasn't your year, my guess is that fear, support, or accountability held you back from taking steps and action that you needed to have taken in order to change your results. So the definition of insanity, again, is doing the same thing but expecting a different result. So if you want 2022 to be different than 2021, you have to do something different than you did in 2021. So what will you do different? How will you keep swimming in 2022? What are you going to put in place every single week? Okay, not day, because I don't think day is necessarily realistic for all of us in our lives. But what are you going to put into place every single week that's going to have you moving forward and taking steps forward and keeping that momentum up? Okay, so towards your goals, what are you going to keep doing? How are you going to keep swimming? What's that action for you? So there was 3 questions, guys. We had 3 different things: the lack of accountability and positive peer pressure being massively helpful in helping you reach your goals. So who influences you and doesn't need tweaking? Okay, that's your question number 1. Number 2 is your fear and your mind block. So what are you going to do about that? What are you putting into place to deal with those fears and mind blocks? Because they're there for all of us. I don't care who you are. What are you putting into place to change that? What system or community or knowledge, what are you putting into place to allow you to move past those fears so that you can take action? Because remember, it is the pursuit that makes a difference. Not goal setting, but goal pursuing. Yes, that makes a difference. And number 3, definition of insanity is that you would expect a different result for 2022 than you had for 2021 when you're not changing your actions. So how are you going to change your actions? How are you going to keep swimming? What are you going to do in 2022 that's different than 2021 so that you can get a different result?
There we go.
There we go. That's our questions for you guys. So now listen, I'm going to Ignited, shameless plug, man. I'm gonna Ignited gives you all those things, guys. We have a mentorship program. Many people are in it. We have a ton of action takers. Honestly, they're the movers and shakers in Canada. They're doing amazing things. They're raising capital. They're making the lives of other people come true, the lives and dreams and goals of other people by partnering. So guys, what are you going to do? Alejandro, I know you're going to keep swimming. I can't wait to see exactly how. So in Ignited, we've got a money back guarantee. You're going to make your money back in 1 or 2 deals anyways, even if you didn't take the money back guarantee, if you didn't like us. We're going to teach you how to make your money back right away. You've got investors with cash. You have access to them. There's so many things in Ignited that we have to offer.
Well, like we talked about, the accountability, the positive peer pressure, the things that you need to surround yourself. If your Ignited group was one of those 5 people and you were meeting with them on a weekly basis, which is what we do, we also have weekly momentum calls, which keep you accountable to your goals. Guys, this is what it's all about. So really, if 2021 wasn't what you wanted and you want to make a difference and you don't want to be considered insane by doing the same thing as you did in 2021 and you want to do something different in 2022, it's a great place to start.
It's an option. And listen, whether you join or you don't join doesn't change our lives, but it certainly can change yours. So I had to do a shameless plug for it because at the end of the day, all this goal stuff and all this stuff I've been reading over the last couple of weeks, we're moving into like a mastermind portion of Ignited in 2022. So super excited about that. But I've been doing so much planning for it. And it all came down to these actionable steps that I had to share on Tuesday training. And then at the end of the day, I was like, okay, well, I am really happy that we provide all of that in Ignited. And it's pretty darn cool. That's what it does. So anyways, guys, next week we're going to be having some guests on that are going to help us analyze a burr. Okay, so we're going to go through real life case studies of burrs, how do we know? How do we, what are the main numbers that we need to do? And then they're going to give you as well. We had them all on already, Calvert home mortgages. They're going to give you an option for financing those bursts. So Ontario and Alberta, especially in BC coming, there's some amazing financing options for your bursts now through these guys that have been around for a very, very, very long time. So
and Leanne's asking a question, where's the information on Ignited? So if any of you just want some information, you don't know quite enough about it, or you want to talk with a member of our team, just throw it in the chat and just say,
and
hey,
we'll be in touch.
Yeah, just say, hey, I'm interested. I want some more information, something like that. And one of our team members will reach out to you and they'll give you all the information.
And just so you know, like if you look at all these people, so Brian, James, Robin, Simon, Leanne, you're asking, James, Michelle, like all these people are all in Ignited. So if you want to ask them, because sometimes it's better to ask other people about things than it is to ask us, because of course we're going to say it's great. But if you really want to know the truth of it and get the nitty gritty, the good and the bad, then maybe that's good. Do the boot camp. Okay, speaking of boot camp, guys, we actually have an announcement. We are postponing boot camp. We're not going to be doing it on January 14th.
We were supposed to be doing it 10 days from now, next Friday. We are postponing it. And actually, it's exciting why. And we're not going to announce that yet because we have something really cool coming up.
Well, there's a few reasons for sure.
We are postponing the boot camp that was booked for next weekend. So those of you that have already registered, we'll be in touch with you about the options going forward.
And we will be providing our full refund to you guys, and we will give you a free ticket to the next boot camp. Okay, so we are sorry that we have to cancel or postpone, but we're going to be moving it by about 3 weeks, maybe 4. So we're moving it into February. Many reasons for it, but don't you worry, we will not disappoint. We are bringing it big time when we do come back. So teaser, right? I know. No, it's nothing major, guys, but it's just, well, as you know, we have a few things going on in our little Ignited family, and we just want to focus on those things, as well as Nin is down for the count for a few days. We've got some stuff going on in our personal life, and so we just thought, you know what, we're just going to delay it so that we can give it our full best shot. And Corey's got all these ideas that he wants to do.
Yeah, she says there's little things, but guys, we have a few different things.
But in Ignited, as you guys know, with our whole new format coming next week for some of our more advanced members, we also wanted to make sure to have that dialed in fully. So anyways, we're just going to focus. That's what we're choosing to do, is focus. So guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm glad you guys loved it. We're super passionate about this, as you can probably tell. All of our Igniteds, we're going to see you over in Laser right away here. We've got the magnificent Sean Sullivan that's joining us tonight, mortgage broker, that's going to help us navigate some of the new things coming in for 2022 in the mortgage broker world. So we'll do that over in Laser, and then we'll hit up our Q&As over there as well. The rest of you guys, we'll see you next week for Burr Strategies and Analysis.
Have a great 2022, everyone.
Cheers.